Alright, so this is pretty different from last time. There's been a lot of new cards since then. Victimize and Persist, I think, are really good tools that you should just have access to. It's kind of weird to not play them. That's why I'm not all in on this funny thing that someone's saying that is funny. You just put this into play, and then you reanimate this, and it sees itself, because Ulamog constantly sees itself with all the weird things that have to do with reanimating this for some reason, so it will see itself and then come back and annihilate your opponent and win immediately. It's a bit vulnerable, but it's somewhat speedy. It's not the fastest thing you could do, but, you know, it can get there. With discard, maybe it's easier to just get away with that. A bunch of reanimate spells. Oh, I guess I should say what this does. It has been 2 years. When you cast it, reveal cards from the top of your library, where X is the amount you spent, and then you put it in the graveyard, right? And this is a cast trigger, so you can't counter it. If that was the case, I would run Buried Alive, but you just can't stop this. Like, it's an Eldrazi spell for some reason. So it just works. The 3 creatures means I don't get to play this for 2 and then go into a 5-mana reanimate spell and just win, assuming my opponent doesn't stop me with the Ulamog thing, because there's, you know, a chance that I hit this thing and then I don't get the combo in the graveyard. But I think it's worth it to just add another creature, and maybe even 2 or 3. You know, if you're not sticking with 2, maybe it just goes up to 4 or 5 or something, but for now, I'm just going to do these 3. Persist and Victimize with Summon Bahamut as like this nice thing to do, right? It's like a Vindicate out of the graveyard at all times, and that seems ideal. Casualties of War is a bit strange. I don't know how I feel about it, but we do ramp ourselves. There's no mana dorks, because you don't want to put them in your graveyard, or at least I don't want to do that. So they're not here. You could, like, play 1, and then you just expect to have it in your hand every game, or something really weird like that, but I don't know. You could also maybe do Sylvan Safekeeper as like a card you can put to the graveyard with your commander, and sometimes you just have it in your opening hand, and then you're not upset at milling it or whatever. But this could just give you a lot of protection when you try to go for anything, but so to cheat death effects like Malakir Rebirth and whatnot, so I'm not really sure about that. Oh yeah, Burgeoning. Oh, right. I was saying no Boreal Grazer Kami, but we do actually have one. I gotta make room for that. Good thing I saw it. That's funny. That's really funny. I don't know about Wishclaw Talisman. I don't really know what I'm trying to put to my hand. But, yeah, alright, so we'll play it like this. What do we take out? Honestly, I think I'm just going to take out the Casualties of War. Hello. Well, that's kind of funny. Of all the things to get rid of, that is definitely kind of funny. So, I could just reanimate that, and then assume I'm dead. Alright, if I play this, and we get the other 2 cards, yeah, I'm still actually quite interested in doing this. I don't like Summon Bahamut on turn 2. I just don't like that here. Call me crazy. I don't like it. My opponent could just kill it with a 2-minute spell, and then I just don't have anything. Okay. Well, now we're just winning by a substantial margin. As in, I think I just immediately won the game. So we'll see. Yep. Immediately won. I could have gone for Bahamut last turn. I really just don't know. The only reason I would is to play around my opponent having Reanimate, and then I just lose. But I kind of... No, wait, no, I do not lose, right? I don't lose. I take 9, and then I can reanimate. No, I don't even take any damage. Okay, yeah, no, there's no reason to play around my opponent having reanimate here. But without anything to blow up, I really don't know. It just didn't feel right to do this turn, too. Inquisition without a black... Oh, wait, we have a black source here. Oof. No, we have to get rid of Inquisition, though. Alright, so be it. Wait. I can get rid of a land, right? Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I would like to Inquisition my opponent. I would like to have that option. Cobra, I don't care about that. Yeah, we'll just take that. It's fine with me. Don't care about that. Unfortunately, don't care about that either. Yeah. And then we just do this for 3. Well, at least all the games are extremely linear and straightforward. Oh, if I had Flare of Cultivation, I'd be so happy here. Do we think our opponent just puts Kendra's transformation on this for no reason? Is that what we think? Because it doesn't do anything at all. Okay, they do. Alright. Again, I'm pretty sure, as I'm to understand it, that doesn't actually do anything. I drew probably the best card ever. Yep, or one of the best cards. It's just something that costs less than... less than 5. Alright. We did it. We did the thing. There it is. Way to go. Does that stay in play? Oh, it does? Wow. Oh, this actually has Shroud, right? Or, like, Hexproof, because they don't have any permanence of reward. But, yeah, if my opponent did somehow have permanence at that point, I mean, it's just over. Why? What is going on with... Oops. Anyway, so we've had one opponent top deck Uro, which drew like 600 cards, and then the next that just top decked Bajuka Bog. Alright, well it's mono green, so it doesn't really do anything at all to stop me. It feels as close to an auto win as possible here. There's just not much at all that can stop. Well, this is the same exact opener of the last person. I keep drawing Victimize when I don't need it. Kind of funny. That's another person reading this. A lot of people have not seen this card before. Sure. Well, we couldn't have tutored for it there. Also, Defense Grid wouldn't have stopped my opponent in that specific spot. Would not have stopped them. They could still cast all of the things that stopped me. So that would not do much in that specific game. Fatal Push, Demonic Spaghetti. Let's take Bitter Blossom. I don't like what that's doing here. Yeah, I kind of like Veil of Summer, I guess. Veil of Summer, but Defense Grid is kind of weird. Like, specifically against... just like, I don't know. Wait, how do you actually cast this? Search for a demon. You need Delirium. Okay. Did I play a land? I did. Okay. It's another deck that might struggle severely with any significant stuff. I do not need this land. Alright, there's, again, almost nothing that they could have that's really concerning. Oh, wait a minute, that's not true. That's not true at all. Okay, there wasn't a Bajuka Bog. They could have tutored for that. Now the game is over, yeah. This is also a weird one. I have to draw a reanimate spell, and then it's slightly less weird. Strip Mine loop? I mean, by the time you stop the Strip Mine loop with Bajuka Bog, it's just too late. Like, if they've... it's way too late. It's the other side of the game. It doesn't matter anymore. And there's not nearly enough graveyard hate or graveyard strategies in Historic Brawl yet that I'm ever playing it. But it's something to think about. I can't say it's completely wrong. I do see it from time to time. Obviously, when you're playing a graveyard deck, it feels miserable to see, but it's not going to be the case most of the time. Let's do this. I could have probably used the Into the North on the Chrome box and felt maybe slightly less bad about things. I'm not saying you're running one, I'm just saying in general. Well, I wouldn't recommend anyone to play them. Unless I did say you were running one, then whoops. How dare you? Or how dare me? Man, why am I so prone to blame you for everything? What is wrong with me? Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have kept that land on top. The white ley line, right? The hexproof one? Or Leyline of the Void? I love Ghostly Prison. I would say that one's kind of fine because it's oh, I just like it. What does Dust Bowl do? Do I have to care? No, I don't. So the only thing that matters is drawing a reanimate spell, which my hand didn't have, and now it does. Big and true. Okay, so they can brokers 15 times. Could I have survived? I actually did beat triple Strip Mine. Very slow for Azusa. Okay, they just decided they wanted to gain less life. I'm not really sure why. Let's do that and most assuredly win the game. So I misclick. Which is possible. We can misclick. We're not above that. Alright. Well, can't really do anything with that one. Oh, come on. Why does this... What are you doing? Wait a minute. Is this fine? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, wait, hold on. We can actually just keep this and cast it. Now, this might not be a good idea, but I really don't want to mulligan further. So I don't really care. Let's do... What's the sweatiest turn 1 play? I think this is... Let's do green here. Do this. Ancient Bomb. That here. Alright, we have a lot of mana. I can cast Stick for 2. And then I can commence the LARPing. There's 2 lands that are colorless at Exile Graveyards, right? I think there's a second one. Oh, tap for colorless. I know Bojuka Bog is technically colorless. Har har har. It doesn't really matter what they copy. Probably just copy the creature for the sake of it. Okay, no. I feel like that was reasonable enough. Alright. Now that we've drawn one of these, we're sad that we drew the Arden, but maybe it's still just fine. We'll see. Alright, the next turn I can summon Bahamut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can do that. Maybe they get distracted with my commander. You're not familiar with a lot of the space lands? Yeah, that's fair. A lot of them are definitely weird. Wait, what the heck? When this enters, return a creature you control to its owner's hand? Oh. Okay. So all untapped blue lands let you just keep doing that, I guess? Like all untapped blue sources? The Ancient Ziggurat taps for blue here, doesn't it? Why did they not do it again? That's weird. Oh, I guess because they just drew another blue source and they didn't have to worry about it. Works out. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Okay, well, we can't just do the busted thing because we have it in hand, so we gotta do this. Liliana, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that is not doing anything. And they're not gonna block, I'm just gonna swing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next turn I can do the thing. Might be way too late though. Oh yeah, there's the black MDFC Bojuka Bog, that's right. But that's not true colorless. That actually is black. That actually is just straight up. That is straight up black. Ketrametra? I don't know what Ketrametra is. Ketramos? I'm confused. Okay, they didn't float blue. Which, to be fair, I guess if you don't hit blue lands, drawing a card doesn't actually accomplish all that much, so. Seek a land whenever you cast a creature? Oh, I see. Is that better than Tireless Provisioner? How do you... Wait, what? They just declined to put a land into play? I think? Why did they do that? I don't understand. What's the idea? Not even in paper, it's just the desert? That's funny. I don't know what the idea there was. They just didn't... Maybe it was the Besage and they're like, ah, I don't want to put it in play, and then they changed their mind. They could have Besage summon Bahamut if that mattered to them. Supposedly it does not. Man, this card is nuts. I don't think I've ever seen... Yeah, I have not seen this happen. And if I have, I don't remember. That's pretty cool, though. So this is a human, right? Yep. Not that it matters, but... Alright. I think we win. It would be extremely impressive if my opponent got out of this. It would be very, very, very impressive. But hey, we've seen crazier stuff. Kulane can just not be cast again, that's for sure. Just can't be a thing again. It's just died too much, losing too much mana. If it's just Uro, it's not enough. So they need like a sweeper? They kept Ancient Ziggurat, which does not tap for normal mana. Oh, they didn't block. What? Oh, it's got Menace! It has Menace! Oh, I guess I wasn't. Wait, was I? Oh, rip. My opponent went to 6? Oh, I guess so. Oh yeah, it's Vivi. Of course this has unlocks. Right. People call me crazy, but here it is. Time and time again. Do I need another green source? No, I do not. Yes, oh, there are some cards that make me want to have it. You can't see the watermarks? That's funny. Tormod's Crypt is unfortunately really good against me. So I'm not really sure what to do against that. But we'll see. Opponent did not activate their stuff. Don't know why. Could they have just equipped? They could have just equipped for free there. Unless they spent the mana, I wasn't paying attention. They must have. Okie dokie. They're gonna lose that last card in their hand. Is there any reason to keep this card in my hand? I don't actually think there is. My opponent won't ever let me do anything with it, so I just would argue there's no real reason to keep it. I'm not sure what my outs are anymore without my like stuff, like my graveyard. But we'll see. They did not cast Vivi again. They could have. They have to play the last card out of their hand, so it's most likely a land. Well, Guardian Idol is a clock. There we go. Yeah, these don't do anything. Well, I mean, actually, yes, they kind of do. Yes, they kind of do. Because they have to stop... Wait, can I do this one? They have to stop this, right? They have to Tormod's Crypt. And then I can go in later. So this kind of works. I can just go for something else later. They did not get a Surveil Land. Wise beyond their years. Draws a land, sure. This dies to the thing in play. Opponent doesn't seem to care. Don't blame them. Do I need more mana? Not necessarily. So what I could do... Oh wait, what would... Let's do this for 2. What I could do is just keep the land in my hand. Wow, we might actually beat Sporadic Graveyard Hate. Look at that. Why does every deck hate graveyards? Wait, they do have a Surveil Land. What? Why didn't they... Okay. Flusterstorm, sure. They just run it as a 0 mana kind of trigger for VV, but, you know, it's not really that useful here. In most games. Alright, get wrecked. Get wrecked. Nice Tormod's Crypt. My opponent actually conceded in a spot where, like, I didn't show them a reanimate spell. Is it fast enough? Let's find out. Let us find out there. Right. Cultivate would have been a kind of a god tier draw there, actually, not gonna lie to you. Alright, let's do this. Let's get another forest. Play the forest, and then I can play this because I do not need Warren Power Stone for any reason. There's no reason to play it. Doesn't do anything. We stop at 5 mana. Just don't need it. Oh, I thought they were firing up the layer. I'm like, wait a minute. Can I play this first? Nope. Again, I don't need to. It's probably a good idea to stop Ragavan from randomly stealing a creature out of my deck. This is another ideal outcome to stop that, is just leaving up black mana. But again, I just don't need more mana. I don't think the Worn Power Stone is right, which I said at the beginning, and so far I've been right every time. It's only really good if I'm like stranded with a creature in my hand, and at that point it's probably just not good enough. So I don't like this. It just feels a bit weird. All right, I should just win here. Should just be winning. I don't think there's anything my opponent can do. Except hope I just misclick. It's satisfying when your opponent like can't choose 10 and their whole board just goes like they can't click anything, it just does it for them. It's kind of funny. It's not Luris. Oh, well. Opponent named Citizen? Why did they name Citizen? It's weird. Did they have to name Citizen there? Yeah, I guess so. Oof! Opponent, what happened? Alright, so now we just need a reanimate spell. Oh, never mind, I have one in hand. Never mind. Well, bouncing this doesn't do anything. Why are they mousing over my land? What are you doing? Okay. Looks like the green source is extremely good, huh? That Menadork is. So, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to get Overgrown Tomb. Put this on black. I don't think my life total matters. So this makes their commander has the thing enter tapped, which unfortunately is quite problematic. There's not really anything I can do about that, though. Not really anything I can do. Except, like, kill it or something. Which I guess I kind of have to? Alright, this probably takes... the defossilize? Yeah, sure. Nothing else matters. Still extremely susceptible to immediately losing the game, though, unfortunately. But that's just the nature of this matchup. I do have a removal spell, but I now don't have the reanimate. And there's still stuff like Bajuka Bog and whatnot, I would presume. I will cut down the 1/1 so they can't sack it to Thalia. And I don't imagine cut down's doing much else than that, so yeah. Alright, I did draw it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I still probably should just wait a turn. I think that would be a good idea, so I'm going to wait a turn. Opponent did not crack their land on their own end step. Interesting. Okay, let's kill Thalia now. I think that's a good idea. So now we have it, unless something really bad happens, which is possible. It is possible. I don't just suddenly have... The opponent has cards in their hand. It's not like they're gone. Okay. Very good sign. Very good sign. So now there's only one mana possible. And they already cast Thoughtseize. Alright, we win. Huge. Look at that. Yeah, cheat it. Ooh, no ramp. Can I keep this do nothing for 3 turns? Actually, kind of 4, because I don't think Liliana's a really efficient 3-minute card, so probably not. Reanimate gives me weird outs. Probably worth attempting. It's also just a lot of mana because of the Ancient Tomb, but it's all colorless. Not great. Not great. Not great. Alright, let's do this. And then play this and go into this? No, that's stupid. My opponent deliberately exiled a blue card. That would be dumb. Now we do it. Because it's like so obviously mana drain or something stupid, so. Alright, I did it in their combat so they don't get the mana as well. Get totally wrecked. Wow, that was one of the best things I've ever done in the game. Can I keep this? Nope. Probably can't keep this either. Nope. Just literally cannot do nothing that long. It's just game losing to do that. Do I need more reanimate spells? Probably. I don't think I need that card, so... Alright. We just have it, unless they have... Actually, I have no idea what they could have here. Just have no idea. You can't wash away. It has to be stifle. It's most assuredly wash away, but it has to be stifle. And it wasn't stifle, so... Oh, okay, it's the same exactly. Sure. Don't do it. Okay, we won. Right? Did we? Do we win? You get the card back, right? Yeah, I do. There could be a flicker effect or something. I'm not sure. That last mana is annoying here. I'm just going to cast Cut Down. That's just the right thing to me, so... They took the cut down. Alright, you got it. So, lose the swords? Don't have swords? Alright, we win. No, it's still Stifle! Come on! Dude, who plays Stifle? What are you doing, dude? How do you have Stifle as well? It's like I conjured it into existence. That is so dumb. Whatever. Come on. Stop having stuff. Alright. What do you got? There's no conceivable way in which you have another thing that stops this. It's literally impossible. It's actually just not a thing you can do. come on. No way. Stop. Okay, alright. Okay. I was about to say, that's crazy. Oh, that would have been crazy. If my opponent won this game, I would have probably just uninstalled, actually. That would have probably been the last thing you would ever see me do on the internet. Like, ever, if they won this game. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute, isn't this just like the weirdest of things to have? At the beginning of your end step, lose 4 or more life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with 3 or greater. It's like, none of this has to do with Y'shtola. Do I care about this hand? Sure, it can be too slow. There's a world where this isn't good enough. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Looks like the hand is fine now, actually, because, yeah. That kind of made my hand better, if that makes any sense. Because, like, that was their turn 1 playing. We're not playing this for 6 years anyway, so that was one of the better things that could have happened. There's a Clement enjoyer here. Alright, well, I'm gonna kill it. My opponent doesn't get to have fun if I don't. Okay, that was probably one of the better draws, I think. Wow, a tap land, huh? Weird. Wait, what? Okay. It has flying. Yep. So we cast this. Completely and utterly ignore what my opponent's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can cast my commander next turn. Okay, sure. Another tapped land. Gee. Oh, well, this one has text on it, I guess. This person has a Clement of each color. That's kind of funny. That's kind of cool, though, I guess. That's neat. Neaterino. Is the red-white one capable of stopping me? We'll find out really quick, let me tell you. Opponent, don't do it. Oh, opponent, no! They actually had the answer. They just straight up had the answer. So I'm going to assume that the other card is an answer? Because they just had it? Oh, that's tragic. Tragic. Well, maybe they'll be aware of it next time. Aware for next game. I'm just gonna remove more permanents before I cast my... Oh, they also kept the Curse of Silence. Wow. Really? Sure. I mean, they're not aware of what's going on. We've figured that part out. But still kind of interesting there. Let's do that. Just get some stuff out of the way. Not that any of this matters, but I'm just gonna cast my spells because I want to. And you just really can't stop me. We've cyberbullied the Clement enjoyer. How is Arduin always being discarded? Stickfingers. It always puts the same 2 creatures in my graveyard because it mills until you hit creatures, and there's only 2 in my deck. For the old weird combo thing we've got going on here. If you were here at the beginning, like a loyal fan, you would have known this. But nope. Mythic Plus is more important. It's alright. I forgive you. I haven't done a single Mythic Plus key. Ugh, I don't want to. I don't want to, please. I'm so fried of Mythic Plus. I'm so burnt out. Hey, we did it! We did it against... What is this? Okay, we're done. I did the thing 15 times. Somehow. Somehow. This won my 15 daily wins extremely quickly. I mean, most days I stream, I actually don't get to 15 wins. This got there very fast. Now, to be fair, the games are over quickly whether you win or lose, but this was way better than I thought. I initially had zero respect for this. I thought this was a complete waste of time, but it's not, because not only are there a fair amount of people that are extremely unprepared for it, they just don't know what you're doing, and then it's just too late, right? You're also green, and the green brain, anti-green brain, is to just sort of kill the green stuff that your opponent does, and we don't do any of that, so all of your opponent's weird removal, like cut down and fatal push, just like don't work if they're mulliganing for it or whatever. There's a little bit of a benefit to that. We're also, it seemed to be in a lower bracket, which kind of surprised me, but maybe it makes sense. If you put this in a higher bracket, I suppose it would get stomped by everybody. I'm not sure. Graveyard Hate is not anything you should ever respect or try to play around, so don't play... there's not really actually anything you can do about it, to be honest with you. But the Graveyard Hate has to show up at the right time, and then it has to do the right thing, right? You can't just randomly play Bajuka Bog on turn 3, and then it didn't exile the right cards, but you played it for your land for the turn. I believe there was one player in the sea of people that actually just refused to play the game until I put stuff in my graveyard. So, like, they just held on to their land, which was Bajuka Bog, and the moment they played it, I did lose. But I'm pretty sure they did top deck it, and they were stuck on one land with Ashnod. I'm not sure. But if they did keep the Bajuka Bog, that's kind of galaxy brain there. But it seemed like they were not keeping it. I don't know. But Graveyard Hate in general, Tormod's Crypt is sometimes sees play, and I guess VV for the trigger. But it's not something to concern yourself with. You can just simply move on to the next game anyways. And again, there's just not a lot of it. And this is not the kind of thing that would ever make me feel like I have to run more than I am, right? You can simply just run removal to kill Ardin, and it doesn't matter, right? You can just kill this, exile it or whatever, and you don't need Graveyard Hate. So, just not a fan of Graveyard Hate. Historic Brawl is not really going crazy with graveyard-based strategies. Now, with Strip Mine, Crucible World stuff, maybe there's more of a reason to do it than there was 2 seconds ago. But even still, not quite there. Incidental Graveyard Hate that you can splash into your deck. Sometimes you could run the black cantrip with Escape on Cling to Dust. Could maybe be a thing you see randomly sprinkled in decks that want just cycling, cantripping, whatever cards, Esper Control or Y'shtola or something, I don't know. But it's not really something to concern yourself with. And again, even if you were concerned about it, there's not really anything you can do. I did find that Victimize and Persist, I thought that those were very important to this kind of strategy, because having more things to do faster is just a good idea. This is kind of, an ever increasing or decreasing turn limit format, so it's not super friendly to like slow, weird stuff. And this is teetering on the edge of it. I won faster than I thought. The Victimize Persist with the third creature was actually just questionable. I didn't know if it was good or not. I thought it was going to be good. Really, I wasn't 100% on it, but it wound up just sort of getting in the way, so I took it out, and then I started winning faster. I could play this for 2 instead of 3 every time, which for the most part wasn't too big of a deal, but if I could go all in on playing this for 2, I could also play things that get me to 4 mana extremely quickly. It's really strange to play a card like this instead of, Delighted Halfling, but, it can't get killed by your opponent's stuff, and it does what we want it to do. There is a second one of these in green now. We have this. It's just another Wayfarer's Bauble. And those just go right in, like 2 into 4 is what this wants to do, and then right into 5 with the land the next turn to reanimate your thing, right? So 2 into 4, into 5. That's basically every game. I don't even know if binding makes sense. This could be another 5-mana reanimate spell, and if you can somehow find yet another rampant growth effect, you could do that as well. But like, even the 3s, you could probably, with a deck like this, full stop, run every 5-mana reanimate spell, all the reanimate spells at 1 and 2 mana, and then just call it a day, right? And just try to do that every game. If it doesn't work, play the next game. Move on, so on and so forth. Your opponent must answer it, or they're screwed. I was even running Ego Drain. This is essentially the same as Grief, except Grief is free. This obviously is not free. It's not exactly the same. But you are getting a card out of your hand. You get to choose the card, though. Unlike Grief, it has to be a black card. So this is kind of just fine. This effect is probably... I don't know if this is the top 10 1-minute discard spell things that people are doing, but I mean, I've never actually seen anyone cast this. It's just fine. Just protecting your combo is all that matters, and you could just get rid of a redundant reanimate spell, or maybe a redundant removal spell, or a redundant land. Like, it's easy enough to just cast a card like this, but you don't really need it. There's a lot of weird discard spells you could just run. And if you were reading answers, you can just play, or reading into or running into too many answers from your opponent, you could just run 2-mana discard spells, like Pilfer or whatnot, Cruel, Claws, Heist, and whatnot, to just have more discard, and then just wait a turn on your combo, assuming your opponent isn't killing you. It's kind of hard to be killed by damage by the time, you know, you get to that point in the game, but it's possible. It's certainly possible, I suppose. Flare and Harrow and Cultivate, I did take out the 3-mana Soul Ring, Worn Power Stone, and I think these are still okay-ish, but they're definitely not the same. If you're playing one of these as your ramp spell, that means you probably had something else instead of a ramp spell on turn 1 or 2, which means you need to do something else, right? Like, if you want to cast Cultivate as the first spell in a game, you're probably going to lose. I know that sounds weird. Maybe not so much in the bracket we were against, like just the opponents we saw, but in general, if the first thing you do is Cultivate, that's usually just lights out. It's just not fast enough to be the first thing you do. Unless, of course, you have Mox or Ancient Tomb or Gemstone on the draw. Then it is kind of fine. But unless you have that, it can't be the first thing you do on turn 3. You need to do something in Historic Brawl on the first 2 turns. Every single game, I think there's no questions asked. If your opponent doesn't, and they still win, it's probably because there's some kind of control deck, or we're leaving up mana drain that you are forced to play around the entire time. But most of the time, you can't just skip 2 turns. The format is way too unforgiving for that kind of slow stuff. But yeah, the 3-mana slot and the 4-mana slot could definitely be changed. I know Zombify works, so this can just simply stay. It's not like it's bad anyways. But yeah, if you're stuck at 4 mana and you never get the 5th thing, then yeah, this works. Same with Reanimate and that other one, Assemble from Spaghetti. Yeah, Assemble from Parmesan. So those still work if you're at 4 mana. Binding, yeah, I just think it could be something else. A 2-mana removal spell would be fine here. Remember, you can't play like Murderous Rider because it's a creature. What else can you not do? Well, that's about it. Yeah, the 2-card combo is viable. I just truly didn't think so. So this felt significantly better than the last time I played it. Actually, we can go look at that list. I can go look. I don't think I changed it at all here, right? Yeah, no, I went to change it and I just copied it and made a second one. So this was, again, I think 2-ish years ago. This is kind of a time capsule. It's really funny. This has 55 lands in it because Cultivator Colossus is just, something that you could rather consistently get to with this if you have enough ramp spells and whatnot. But as you can see, we've come quite a long way to a substantial degree. Oh, look, it has Altar in it. That's funny. I said I didn't even like Altar. I kind of would not play this now. Yeah, there's just so many things have shown up since the last time I played this. I don't even think we had Cultivate in the game last time I played this card. There's obviously no Ancient Tomb or anything, and this is trying to go for value and not some kind of combo. I don't even think there was a combo you could do at the time, except this, if you consider that a combo. I mean, it's a ton of lands, but it doesn't inherently win. I was even running Wormcoil Engine. Jeez, crazy. But yeah, you can see we've come a long Assassin's Trophy. Oh man, boy, come a long way since those days. Let me tell you. But yeah, this is viable. I like this. I think it was super heavy into black. I found myself really not going for a second green source ever. Which Flare, if it wasn't for the ability to sack my commander, I just wouldn't play this. But you can just sack it for free, right? You just immediately do it. It's not a big deal. But it is double green. I don't know if I'm a big fan of just hard casting this, which sometimes I did find myself, doing that as the quote-unquote ramp spell of the game. So there might just be a better one. I am playing this. I think this is one of the worst cards in the game. But unfortunately, one of the worst rampant growths, if not the worst rampant growth in the game. It is effectively a mana dork, right? A 2-mana mana dork, and that's just okay, I guess. If you look at it like that, it's not really too big of a deal. There are plenty of people who play plenty of 2-mana mana dorks, but the reason I think this is just so bad is because if you're interested in this effect, you're probably playing something like Tatyova or the new Tatyova Init or whatever, the red-green one. It's landfall stuff. It's good there, I guess, but it's not really the best thing to do as the one and only ramp spell if you're going 2 into 4, because it's the most vulnerable, right? It's the only thing that can die to a mountain of creature removal that your opponent might not have yet had any kind of target to, so this always feels bad to play, for sure. I never actually cast it today. I did add it to the deck rather late, so that makes sense. But yeah, this one does feel bad. But we're always trying to do the same thing, and it's one of those things, so it's probably just right. But I just hold it in low regard. Definitely hold it in low regard. So yeah, this was a really good strategy. So I can recommend it, and my opinion on it has been changed. I didn't think it was something, and now I do. Now I do. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.